What's up, guy with Max Conversion here with you today to walk you through the step-by-step guide on how we set up PMAX campaigns in 2025, really going into 2026. This is going to walk you through step-by-step how you should set it up, how many keywords, what you need to look out for, all the sort of stuff that you have questions about with the PMAX campaign. So we're going to walk through the setup together, step by step, and if you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them down below in the comments section. But you're first going to log into your Google Ads account, go to the blue plus button, click on the plus, set up new campaign, and now we're going to set this up. You can set it up as leads, you can set it up without campaign goal guidance. Either one's okay. It'll lead us to the same spot. We're going to set up a performance max campaign, and we're just going to go and click continue. Now, you can name this anything you like. So we always name ours with our URL, and then we'll name it PMAX. And for this instance, let's just do it for let's do it for a roofer. And we're going to go ahead and start new. And I am going to pull out a roofing.com, just pull out a random URL. So what we're going to focus on right away is going to be conversions. There's only conversions or conversion value. We're not going to set a target cost per action because we don't have enough data yet. So we just want to set it to conversions without a target cost per action. Once you get about 20 conversions in the campaign, then you can go back and set a target cost per action and limit that, and try and get that down. So if you guys are getting $20 a lead, try and set it at 17, then try and set it at 15 after you start getting $17 leads, and go from there. This bidding for new customers, you guys can only run this if you have a customer list. And I recommend just keeping this off for now. Now, this is completely optional, but what you guys should do here is enter a specific location. Let's just say St. Louis for the sake of this, and hit save there. Make sure your campaign only targets one language. If you guys have a second language, you can set up a second campaign for that language. Recommended one language per campaign. No, this campaign doesn't have EU political ads, and I recommend running this only days. If you guys are a service-based business or you guys have a phone, you guys respond to form submissions, only put this really during the time you can answer phone calls, depending on your budget. If you guys have over it really depends and really changes per industry, but good rule of thumb is if you're getting clicks, you're getting leads during that time and you haven't hit a ceiling, just run it during times you guys are able to answer the phone. So for this sake, we're going to run 7 to, let's say, 5 o'clock. Now, start and end date, you guys can set that if you'd like. We're just going to set the start date as today. Don't worry about campaign URL options. Don't worry about page feeds. If this is a conversions campaign, guys, let's go ahead and turn off TV screens. TV screens are not going to generate conversions. They're good brand awareness, but they're not going to generate conversions. If you guys want to remove specific ages, maybe you guys are doing, maybe you guys are targeting, an older demographic, or younger demographic, or somebody in the middle. Maybe you just don't want 18 to 24-year-olds or 25 to 34-year-olds. You're trying to target people who are a little older for whatever reason, then you can add that. For this sake, we are not going to add that. We're going to go ahead and skip this section, but you guys can generate assets if you do not have assets. Assets are images and videos. You don't necessarily need videos, but images are important. We're going to name this asset group name. We're going to name this roofing replacement. So we are going after full-blown roofing replacement. And now if you guys are a plumber, you guys could do, an asset group for leak repair. You guys could do one for, HVAC stuff. You guys could do one for full house plumbing, whatever it is, whatever you guys are targeting, make sure that it's narrow, it's niche, it's specific. So we got that. You guys can add your business name, right? So we're just going to say we are a roofing company. That's what we're going to say. We're going to add a logo. So what we can do is we can add a random logo here. Let's see. All right, so just go ahead and hit upload, and then what we can do is just upload your logo. And this is just a sample logo for the case of this video. You guys can go to more options. If you guys have specific custom colors, it's always good to get those added. A little tip and trick here for custom colors is we've got image color picker. You guys go to Google, you've got an image color picker. Then you can click on, this specific one. This one's actually been kind of getting a lot of ads, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the Figma one. The other one has ads, and it's kind of been slowing down, so don't necessarily want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and do this. And, if this one's just purely black and white, but if you guys have different colors, you guys can, click on these specific areas, right? So we want to move this over, let's say right here onto the gray, right there. And you guys can see here is where the color is. You can copy it, go back to the campaign, and you can say, hey, our accent color is this, and our main color is, let's say, black. So, and it's black here, so it's 000. Nice. Now, if you guys have a specific font, you guys can always add that font as well, but that is completely optional. This is totally optional. You don't need to do it if you don't want to do it. It is recommended though, because your brand is very important and you guys want your brand to have a certain feel and tone to it. So that's more of a branding thing than anything, and not really a Google Ads thing, but more of a branding. Headlines. Headlines are very, very important. We want our headlines to sound good, to be relevant, to hook people in, right? So if we're doing roofing, we'll do roofing replacement as low as, actually we can't do that, roofing, let's say starting at $5,000 or something. Roofs starting at $5,000. You guys can have finance a new roof for $199 per month PM. Actually, we'll just have $199. You guys can also have other call to action. So get a quote now, or discount ending. If you guys have a discount, you can have $1,000 discount ending on, let's say, December 1. You guys can add some general headlines, right? So ones that aren't focused on an offer or focused on kind of call to actions. You can just say general stuff. So we do, full roof replacements. You guys can say we repair leaky roofs. So you're calling out what they might be experiencing. You can also use Google to generate some headlines. So if you guys want to have Google generate some headlines, you can put it in here, and you can put let's see, roofing replacement services, and let's see if it generates some good headlines. So roofing contractor near you, that's great. Residential roofing solutions for all, stronger roof, safer home, all good stuff. So now it adds that. You guys can also do a long headline. So long headlines will help get the roof you need when you need it. Both of these are decent. So we do want to fill this out as much as possible, just as a Google Ads best practice. So roof replacement, we make it easy and affordable. St. Louis top rated roofing company, right? So something like that will help you get the roof you need when you need it. Fix leaks, finance a roof. So if we were focused on roof replacement, what I probably should do is just focus not on the leaks or repairs, but more so just full replacement. But for the sake of this video, that is okay. Make sure it's narrow. Descriptions as well we can generate. So emergency roof repair services is good. This good. This is good. And I always recommend, adding the location in there, right? So we're in St. Louis, Mo, roof replacement services, finance a roof. Best practice is to have the first letter of each word capitalized here in both headlines and descriptions, just for just so it looks a little bit more professional. let's go ahead and remove this on all roof replacement services in St. Louis. Let's do it in here. All right. So we've got our descriptions here. If you guys have images, you guys can, generate those images. You guys can add those images, right? So for this example, we'll throw in, these images just for the sake of this video. If you guys have images that are more customized, that aren't so that aren't stock, but more so your guys' brand, it's highly, highly recommended that you run those instead. Videos, not necessary. If you guys don't want to show up on YouTube, I wouldn't worry about running YouTube ads. And frankly, if you guys are running this for a local home service or some sort of service, insurance, any type of service, legal, I actually recommend staying away from videos. Videos are good for remarketing. They can be okay for cold audience, but I would recommend running its own YouTube ads campaign instead of trying to loop it into the PMAX. So that's my recommendation for you guys with this to get the maximum value and conversions out of your PMAX campaign. Site link extensions, I always recommend setting this up. We have a unique way doing it here at Max Conversion. I'm only going to set up 2 for you guys just for the sake of this video, but it is recommended you do this. Now, there's 2 ways to go about this. If you guys are running ads to your website, which is not recommended, it's recommended that you run it to a landing page. A landing page, if you're not sure what that is a single page on, it can be detached from your website, but still on the same main URL. It can be a different domain, but it's focused on the exact service you guys are offering, right? So with roofing replacement, it'd be a dedicated roofing replacement landing page. So it has reviews about roofing replacement. It's got trust symbols. It's got an offer related to that. Everything's focused on that. If it's roofing leak repair, you have a landing page for leak repair. We can repair your roof. We can fix leaks fast, emergency, yada, yada, yada. If you guys are doing, like a legal service, like, helping people get off DUIs, then you can have that specific, like, we help you get the DUI off your record or something like that. You guys want to be very, very specific on your landing pages, and we have other videos on that about how to set up landing pages. So that's important. But the way you do this, so if you have a website, you guys can run it to any page on your website. Totally okay. But if you have a landing page, you guys know that you can't run the same URL in 2 different site links, right? So you run it and it says duplicate site link. So what we recommend is if you do / site link equals 1, and then this is site link equals 2. What this will do is you can run it to the same landing page, and you guys can have different text here, right? So we are a full roof replacement company, service. Just have roof replacement service, and here you can have servicing St. Louis, or you guys can have service areas. You guys can have get 1,000 off a roof, and so on. And so you can just keep going down and add as many site links as you can. Recommended you add at least 4, more if you can, but you guys can increase the real estate on the Google search by having these site link extensions. You can see here as a preview, you see we've got these additional ones. So it looks really, really nice. If this person sees this ad, right, roof starting at 5,000, finance a new roof for 199. They might say, okay, I want to get $1,000 off roof. They click that. We just want to send them to the landing page. No matter what they click on, we want them to land on the landing page that's dedicated to that type of traffic. So we set it up like this, and you got to make sure that it's got the question mark. And this doesn't really matter. I mean, this can be a bunch of gibberish, and it'll still be a different domain, but go to the same spot. So add those site links. Call to action, I'd recommend you guys having control over that. So making it contact us if it's for the loan space or something else. Apply now if it's get quotes okay. Learn more is good as well. Whatever you guys think is the best. Asset types, if you guys are running a promotion, like for this example, I would set up a promotion extension, set up that, save $1,000, etc. If you guys can transparently advertise price, you'd advertise price there. Always make sure you're adding, if you guys are receiving phone calls, always make sure you guys are adding a call asset here. Message is not required. A call out button or a call out extension's always good. These are basically just, hey, here's why we stand out, where we've got highly trained staff, we've got same day availability, we've got all this stuff, right? So that you can add that. Structured snippet, always add that as well. So if you guys are, you guys are in plumbing space, talk about, list all the different services. If you guys are, in the accounting space, you can see here that just list out all the different services. Here is kind of in the roofing space. Hey, we do all this stuff. And what you can see here on the right in the preview is that it's increasing the amount your ad's showing up. So you guys are getting more real estate on Google. You'll have a higher click-through rate. Lead form ads, you can run these. You don't have to run these. We usually skip them here at Max Conversion. Display path, always recommended. So roof replacement. You can see here it should show up right after this. Yeah, roof replacement. Tracking templates, skip this section, and URL rules, you can skip that section as well. Videos, if you guys are running videos, I'd recommend turning that off. Images, this is okay. You guys, I would recommend kind of turning this customization off. You guys want to have full control over your PMAX campaign. So signals, what are some words and phrases people use when searching for your product and service? So this is kind of where it gets into the nitty gritty. So we just want to do roofing replacement. That's it, right? We want to keep it to a single keyword. You guys can extend it out a little bit more, but I wouldn't recommend going over 2 or 3 keywords. So, but keep it at, keep it roofing replacement companies, roofing replacement quote. Now, if you guys are setting up another asset group, I would have one for, roofing repair companies, roofing repair quote. If you guys have some data, you guys can do this. This is where you might set up retargeting, that sort of stuff. Additional signals, you guys can set up interest and in-market audiences. This is kind of the main bread and butter I'm going to walk you through. And then demographics, you guys can change here. So we say we only want 35-year-olds to 64-year-olds, and we'll take the unknown as well. Actually, 65-year-olds is fine. We only want people who are a parent, and we only want 10 to 15%, 0 to 50% of people who have money. And you can set up your audience name there. But what we'll see here is we can go through and look at these in-market audience, right? So you browse, and what I would say is we're going to look at roofing, and we don't want the others. These are others that we just don't want, but this one is people interested. You can see here on the right, it's people interested to hire professionals to coat, repair, or replace roof. If you guys are in flooring, right, you've got this in-market audience here, flooring. The electricians here, right? If plumbing, lawn garden, you get the point. Make sure you're targeting a specific audience that makes sense for you guys. And there might be a few, right? So you've got, I was just going to look for this one, but homeowners, you guys want to target homeowners, right? So the only people who have a home. You don't want to target people who are renting. One of the most successful audiences for us, which is an affinity audience, which is a little different, is a shopper. So people who are considered shoppers. The difference between in-market audience, you can see here, and affinity, right? So this is affinity. The others we've been looking at are in-market. The difference is in-market is they just recently entered that audience, and it's newer. They may have been in it for a little bit, but affinity is people who Google has found that their habits align with that whatever audience they're in, right? So people who are shoppers are what we've seen are more likely to convert on ads, reach out, maybe spend some money. That's what we've noticed. So that's all really, really good information. So for this campaign, we want to keep it really, really narrow, dialed in, roofing services, homeowners, and shoppers. Now, the thing with this is it's not all three, right? So it's not like they're in the roofing services, they're homeowners, and they're shoppers. That would narrow it way too much. This is or. So if they're roofing services or they're homeowners or they're shoppers. Google gives you a weekly estimate here. I wouldn't trust that. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is hit next here. So then you can set your budget. Now, in terms of budget, it's recommended that you start at, around $40, $50 a day. If you guys can't afford that, that is totally okay. Start at something that makes sense. I wouldn't recommend anything below $15 a day. You're really not going to get too much out of it, but really anything above there. Let me go ahead and confirm again. Let's see here. All right, so we are confirmed, and then this campaign will check for errors, make sure everything looks good, and go from there. So guide, guys, on how to set up a PMAX campaign. Go through. The really important thing is always set audiences. You always want to be very specific about what you're targeting, right? So we're using maximize conversions. We're telling Google, hey, we want to get as many conversions as possible. These are the services we're offering, right? So we are just doing roofing installation. Actually, let's just do roofing installation, roofing replacement. So these are the two we're offering. We'll skip that. And then we are going to go to the next page here. So these are our search themes, right? So these are the themes of what we'll be targeting here in this asset group. Be very, very, very specific here, right? So you just want to be very, very specific. And if you guys have any data, you guys can add, people who have, visited your website as remarketing. But mostly, the important thing is keep this tight, between 1 and 3 to 5 themes, and then keep these audiences very, very tight as well. You want to make sure you're targeting the right audience, and then you're good to go. So run this campaign. Make sure you have your conversion set up right. I'll link the video down below in the description of this for how to set up conversions accurately. And as long as you have that, you guys should be good to run this campaign. Big thing is the conversion tracking, like I just mentioned. If you guys don't have this set up and you've got the maximize conversions, Google's not going to know how to bid more efficiently to get you more of those conversions. So make sure that's set up, kind of a prerequisite to this campaign. And then once you're good to go, you guys will just hit publish down here and launch these ads, and you should be good. So if you ever need help with these ads, you can comment down below. We answer all questions in the comments. If you need help setting these campaigns up, you don't want to do it yourself, we also do that at Max Conversion. Feel free to reach out, and we'll get back to you and see if we can help you out. If you like this video, you got some use out of it, make sure you like it, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for more helpful Google Ads content.